Hello, Beacon Heights students. I'm Mrs.Dale, and this is lesson number 18. Today, I'm with my twin sister, Miss Annette. As you've noticed, she is such an important part of our music videos. In fact, pianists are very important people in the world if you're going to create music. You'll notice most of our composers have been pianists. And today, I thought it would be fun to have Miss Annette talk a little bit about the piano and what makes it a piano, what makes it a special instrument. So I asked her, how many keys are on a piano? And her answer is
88.
So if you have a piano at home, you can count every note on the piano, going from white to black. And you've noticed the piano has two colors, white keys and black keys. And now, why are there white keys and black keys?
The piano keys are in two different colors, white and black. And in order to understand the white keys, you need to know that the black keys come in a pattern. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. That way you can find, if you look at the two black keys, you can find a note to the left of them, and they call that C. The white keys each have a name. A, B, C, there's our C, D, E, F, G, and then it starts again. A, B, and there's our C because of the two black keys. You can see C, D, E, F, G. The piano has lots of different sounds, so you can have low sounds. And that's minor, and it sounds kind of scarier, like a big elephant. You also have these little keys up here. Maybe like a bird or a mouse. So you can have low sounds and high sounds at the same time, and it creates such a beautiful full sound.
That was very interesting. Thanks for sharing with us today. The piano really is an amazing instrument. It can accompany a soloist, singer, a violinist, a cellist, someone playing the trumpet, or it can just play alone, or it can play with a symphony orchestra, as we'll hear later today in McDowell's Piano Concerto. We'll also be hearing from Miss Annette playing some of McDowell's piano pieces later today. I would like to review with you some music notations that we have discussed the past few weeks. This is a quarter note. This is a half note. Eighth notes have stems, like we've talked about before, but what makes them different than a quarter note is they have this bar at the bottom. So we have quarter, half note, eighth, 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 eighth. So I'm going to write a rhythm now, and then I will have you clap it. So later on, at the end of our discussion today, we're going to be hearing lots of fast, repeated eighth notes. So I'm going to bar them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to bar out so we know they're eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put a bar. So there we have repeated eighth notes. And then I'm going to put a quarter note, and I will do a half note. And then I'd like to repeat. And remember, repeat has the double lines and two dots. So we have a quarter, quarter, half note. Now to add something more interesting to this, I'm going to put tiny dots above these two quarter notes, which make them staccato, or short and separated, or detached. And then by this half note, I'm going to do an accent, which is a tiny arrow by the note. That means give it a little extra punch, a little emphasis. So for instance, this measure, quarter, quarter, half note. So very crisp on the staccatos. That's what the little dots mean. And then the little arrow means give it a little extra pump. Okay, so we have our fast eighth notes. Eighth notes are quicker than quarter notes. And let's try putting our hands together. Ready? Begin. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Quarter, quarter, half note. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Quarter, quarter, half. Now put your hands together. Let's try it. Ready? Begin. Half note, quarter, quarter, rest, quarter. Half note, quarter, quarter, rest, quarter. How did you do? Does some of you clap on the rest? I think I heard some of you. Let's try that again. Half note, quarter, quarter, rest, quarter. Half note, quarter, quarter, rest, quarter. So today I'm going to put on four notes with stems. I'm hooking it together and I'm putting a double line. When it has a double line, these are called 16th notes. They go twice as fast as 8th notes. Here's our 8th note. There's an 8th note with a little tail and an 8th note with a little tail. I'm putting little staccato dots. Remember from last week, a dot above a note means they're short and crisp. So here we have pepperoni pizza. That would be the rhythm. Put your hands together and try that with me. Pepperoni pizza. So 16th notes are very fast. So in order of how long notes are, if it looks just like an egg, it's a whole note. It receives 4 counts. Then we have a half note, which is not colored in, but has a stem. That receives 2 notes, 2 beats. Then if we colored in with a stem, that's a quarter note. It only gets 1 beat. If I do an 8th note, 2 8th notes, are hooked together with 1 bar like that, they each receive a half a beat. And then if we double bar it, two, 3, 4, and we put double lines. Those go very quickly. They're 16th notes. Whole note, half note, quarter note, 8th, 8th, and then 4 16th notes. Okay, so let's try that one more time. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to clap a rhythm today, and I want you to echo it back to me. I won't be able to hear you, but make sure your hands are together. So, pepperoni pizza, your turn. Great, let's try it one more time. Pepperoni pizza, your turn. Perfect. How about this rhythm? Just use your ears and copy what I'm doing. Your turn. Your turn. Very good. So those are just some ideas for rhythms today. Now we're going to discuss the music of Edward MacDowell. Edward MacDowell was born in New York City on December 18th, 1860. His father, Thomas, was a milkman, and his mother, Frances, was responsible for introducing young Thomas to music. He received his first piano lesson at the age of 8 from a Colombian violinist, Juan Buitrago, who at the time was living with the McDowell family. He received further lessons and encouragement to play the piano from several friends of Buitrago, particularly from Venezuelan pianist Teresa Carrillo. He also studied the piano from Cuban pianist Pablo de Severin. To further his musical career, McDowell moved with his mother to France. He was admitted to the Paris Conservatoire in 1877 when he was just 17 years old. In 1878, McDowell went to Germany to study composition with Joachim Ruff at the Frankfurt Conservatory and later taught piano in Darmstadt. It was during this time that McDowell met pianist Franz Liszt. Liszt encouraged him to devote himself to composition, and Liszt helped him secure publication of his early works. In 1884, McDowell married Marion Nevins, one of his students. In 1885, Edward MacDowell completed his Piano Concerto No. 2 in D minor, Opus 23. It was the first major piano concerto written by an American. On March 5, 1889, he performed the new concerto in Chickering Hall in New York City. Let's take a listen to just a portion of McDowell's Piano Concerto No. 2, the first movement, which begins very soft and calm. And then the piano enters in with giant chords and lots of rumbling. Let's take a listen now. In 1988, Edward MacDowell returned to the United States permanently after living abroad, and he spent 8 years living in Boston and as a composer, teacher, and a concert pianist. He made several concert tours featuring his own music, which was in high demand at that time. In 1896, he was invited to head the new Department of Music at Columbia University in New York City. He resigned in 1904 after a disagreement over the position of music and the fine arts in the university's curriculum. Almost all of McDowell's works have literary or pictorial associations. Although he wrote many lyrical songs, he is considered at his best in his piano music, including the suites, sea pieces, and fireside tales, and the imaginative evocations of the American scene in the album Woodland Sketches. We are fortunate to have Miss Annette play 3 pieces from McDowell's Woodland Sketches today. All of the sketches are relatively short. The first piece is titled To a Wild Rose. McDowell indicates in this piece that this piece should be played with simple tenderness. For the most part, it is played piano or very softly. The second piece Miss Annette will play for us today is At an Old Trysting Place. This piece is to be played quietly or quaintly or elegantly. Lastly, Miss Annette will play To a Water Lily. McDowell indicates that this piece should be played in a dreamy, swaying rhythm. In the middle of this piece, however, it accelerates or gets faster, and the dynamics change from soft to loud before returning back to that dreamy, swaying theme. As always, thank you for joining me for music, and take care.